In this episode, which is episode 2 of the Sagola 4600, we'll be using the La Katrina DVR Titania to spray clear on this fender. So stick around and let's get started. So in the last video, you saw me take this brand new fender and prep it out to get ready to spray sealer and base coat using the Sagola 4600. So now on this episode, we're going to take the 4600 La Katrina and spray clear. Now, I'm going to give you an update and kind of go back in time. You saw clean the fender, sand it, clean it, sand it, wet sand it, kind of what you call it, clean sanding, putting a scuff in that E-coat, repairing a couple little spots up here, applying 2 coats of sealer and 3 coats of base and 1 orientation coat. And the reason why it is blotchy is because I had a little bit of paint left in the DPC, the disposable paint cup system by Sagola, and I just sprayed it on here. So after we spray, you will not see any of that blotchiness. I've done it several times on tests just to confirm, but it's always best to have your paint silky smooth like what we normally do. So again, now let's go in there and I'll get set up to use our 4600 La Katrina with a DVR Titania to spray clear. To start off with, I do not have an adapter for the 4600 on my clear gun to do or use the Sagola DPC. So I will be using a 3M vented cup to spray clear. So I could swap adapters, but the way I got my gun set up over there is it's easier for me just to use that. Before we get started, 2 things. This is a clear that is brand new, never been opened. A local paint supplier called Robertson Collision Parts. I'll put their number right here in case you want to contact them. They have some really good products that I've been using. Also, if you have any like aftermarket parts and you're on the Gulf Coast, they are the place for aftermarket parts. I have used them quite a bit from aftermarket parts and they're awesome. So I've been using some of their TransStar base coat here lately just because I go around the corner and they work with me. We can mix anything over there. They pretty much let me do what I want to do in their mixing bank. Love William, the owner over there, his father, and several others. But this is a clear that they gave me. It's about $200, and we won't say $300. I think it's like $285 to $295 for this kit. So I've never used it. It is a 2-to-1 extremely high solids clear coat. So we're going to use it in our 3M vented cups. I gotta give a shout out to Joe over at Oli Paints. He was at SEMA and got a hold of some and gave me some part numbers to order. And in true fashion of me, I went through and got their, this is the 31.5 ounce or 32 ounce. This one right here is their smaller one. Then here's another one. So I got all 3 of those on top of, got my Sagola down there. You can't leave Sagola out of this. So there we go. This is a 2-to-1 mix. So let's get set up here. I do wear a PPS mask when mixing any paints or any clears, and I do wear gloves. So you need to do the same. Make sure you wear masks to protect your lungs, your skin. This stuff is not good to breathe. So disclosure. And also, might I add that I have never shot this clear, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. I am more of a 4-to-1 guy on spraying clear. I like really high solids. This is one of my first 2-to-1 high solids. So, and shooting it out of the 4600. So, brand new clear. Never shot it before, but we're going to do the best we can. So, let's go. So now we're all set up with our base coat. Now let me tack this off, see if we got any overspray on it. Should be pretty silky smooth, besides my blotchiness, which I'll show you that will not show through. Now I also like to take my air hose. I've already wiped it down with a water-based cleaner, but also clean your hose off. Clean off anything you can to try to keep this as clean as possible. So let's get this ball rolling. That's some dust specks right there, so let's let this flash off and we'll be back. Okay, so we are now at our tacky stage where it's time for the second coat, but I did get some trash right in there, so I'm gonna bump my pressure up just a little bit more because I've got a little too much peel in here, and I may slow down just a little bit. I may just bump my pressure up and not slow down. So right now I'm at 28 PSI. Full fan turned in about a quarter, and then fan full fluid at a quarter turn in. So now I'm gonna bump that pressure up to about 29 PSI, 29 to 30. Okay, let's get going. Never worry about your first coat. It could be a little bit peely. Just make sure you get it on the panel. You want that to be your glue coat. And now that we have our second coat on there, I have enough for a third coat, but we'll see how this looks. Okay, so we are back. We are back at a stage to where if we wanted to shoot a third coat, we could. We have a perfectly good OEM texture on here. I mean, this is tip for tap, your American car texture. Now, if you recall the blotchiness that I was talking about as well, we do not see any blotchiness. Let me grab a light. So now I'm gonna take out light. Do we see any blotchiness whatsoever? Do not do that at home, ladies and gentlemen. I was just using up the rest of that paint. But look at that metallic. How good does that look? And you can see the texture in the paint up to your left. Just a very slight texture. Now that can finish flashing off a little bit more, and that very well could go away. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust my gun settings to do a glass finish. So y'all hang tight, let's glass this one out. I should have just enough clear, so let's try. said just enough. So now we're gonna let that flash off and we'll bring you back in. Well, there we are. We have used the 4600 and we got it fairly well glassed out compared to the way it was. We still got a little bit of texture in it, which is, again, not my normal clear, so I may need another time or two to test with it. I didn't even spray a test panel or anything. This was my test panel. So it looks really good. I mean, you can see me in it. Hi. And that's going to be a wrap on the 4600 series. And I believe this is part 4, part 2 on the 4600, part 4 on the total series on the Sagola. So with the 4600, you saw me on the part 1 of the 4600, which is part 3 in total. We got the fender, we cleaned it, we sanded it, getting it prepped for sealer, 2 shots of sealer, 3 coats of base coat, orientation coat, then my messed up coat that I just wasted paint on so I wouldn't let it set in the container. And I did 3 coats of a clear that I've never used before, and this is more European peel than it is American peel because the peel is a lot tighter. So there you have it, guys. I appreciate it, you guys. Stick around for more Sagola content and any auto body content. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Matter of fact, you can click right there where it says subscribe and it'll pop up, do you want to subscribe? All the products I use besides the clear coat and the base coat will be linked down below. I will link Finish 1, FC720 and FC710 for a clear coat. That's a budget clear that sprays out phenomenally. The FC710 is a fast and FC720 is a normal national rule clear coat. Overall, I've used a lot of both. The FC740, I don't know if I'll link it or not, but it's pretty much an FC720, but a compliant for your California and other areas that requires low VOC. Exact same thing. But anything else I've used in here, I will link down below. Again, they're affiliate links. Most of them are to Amazon, where I'll get a couple pennies, and it helps me do these videos for you guys. Any questions, leave them down below. Let me know what you think, what you would change, and what you would do different. Stick around for the next, and we appreciate it. Bama, we're out.